While many gamers were baffled by Kojima Productions' surprise success with Death Stranding, it appears that the game gathered enough admirers to support a sequel. This may be wonderful news for Hideo Kojima fans, but there are several uncertainties over how the designers will maintain Death Stranding's gameplay in another game. Making deliveries was enjoyable the first time, but having to do it repeatedly can wear gamers out. In addition to Death Stranding's sequel, gamers can also look forward to an upcoming Xbox game that Kojima Productions is developing using Microsoft's cloud technology. According to leaks, the project could be a horror game called Overdose. This could be promising, because Kojima has shown interest in the horror genre in the past. Regardless, the next Death Stranding game will have to innovate in order to find success. Although Kojima is constantly working on something, Kojima Productions has established itself as a rather clandestine organization. Kojima never makes any announcements before they are complete. There have been suspicions that a Death Stranding sequel is in the works, and these theories were confirmed when Norman Reedus, who played Sam Bridges in the game, accidentally revealed during an interview that work on the sequel was already begun. No official information regarding the game has been released, and with Kojima being the oddball developer that he is, speculating on what to expect is, safe to say, quite difficult. Reedus appears to be returning, which implies that players will be seeing Sam Bridges again. Following the conclusion of Death Stranding, there are several plot possibilities for a sequel. A new game, on the other hand, may encounter some difficulties in terms of keeping gaming fresh. The gameplay of Death Stranding is quite unconventional, and when it was introduced, it amazed the gaming world. It took what is usually the most boring part of gameplay, the walking, and managed to make a full AAA out of it, which was engaging, innovative, and unlike anything that came before. This was achieved by turning the terrain into an obstacle for players to overcome, forcing them to consider the weight of their cargo, their center of gravity, their shoes, equipment, and various other factors. It also manages to be innovative by incorporating multiplayer components in a novel way. Structures that people develop in their own worlds might emerge in the worlds of other players, which can be useful at times. This helps players avoid feeling lonely in a game where they spend most of their time trekking alone. Players can also post supportive signs, which can be inspiring to behold. Despite the fact that this experiment ultimately led to a success, one cannot deny that one of the game's main criticisms was that the core gameplay loop of making deliveries became tedious after a while. Death Stranding's director's cut attempts to address this by including racetracks, shooting ranges, and stealth activities to make gameplay faster paced and action-packed. While the game was a fantastic starting place for new players, it made no changes to the core gameplay. A Death Stranding sequel with a new map and more hurdles to overcome has the potential to be fantastic. But any issues with delivery weariness will be amplified significantly. The first game benefited from uniqueness, whereas the second game will be predictable, potentially leading to delivery fatigue settling in even faster. This is not to say that the gameplay in Death Stranding is terrible, but that too much of it can be harmful. Death Stranding was a unique experience that manages to explore emotional themes such as loneliness and grief, and it managed to do so within a sci-fi game filled with horror, humor, and plenty of unexpected twists. Its gameplay is a once-in-a-generation invention, and while it is great, it does not mean that Kojima Productions needs to follow the typical gaming strategy of following up classics with sequels. Death Stranding appears to be the type of game that can exist on its own without the need for a sequel to complement its greatness. Kojima has often demonstrated his ability to undermine and exceed expectations. As a result, it would be premature to draw any judgments about any of his studio's planned titles. There is no telling how Kojima will reimagine Death Stranding's gameplay, but it will surely be necessary if a sequel is to be made. And if Kojima doesn't come with new innovative ways to improve his gameplay or change it altogether, I fear he might isolate his game to only his most core fanbase. Death Stranding certainly wasn't for everyone, but it had a strong, compelling story and point to make. And I suppose the question we'll all have to ask ourselves now is, what will this new compelling story tell? Gear up for yet another walk through treacherous terrain, console your BB on the way, and ultimately deliver your like, comment, and of course, subscribe. Till next time, gamers.